Alright, what's up YouTube? This is Aracion, Cybertech, Shadow 17, bringing you another Dueling Network commentary. Today I'll be going against my good friend, Trusolus, and he is using his new, Hero Beat Hybrid, so I call it, Gate Beater, whatever. But I thought it was a pretty good deck, and it was a great idea, and it's going along pretty well for him. So he starts off with reinforcements of the army, goes into Stratos, and then Stratos' effect, and goes into Alias, and ends with no back row. So at this point, looking at my hand, my starting hand, I'm like, oh crap, because to me this is like sort of like a bad hand, because I can't really get anything going first turn. So I just set my watchdog, set MST and set compulsory. Okay, I'm thinking like, okay, I can defend versus Stratos with the 1800 defense, but if he summons Alias or something, I can't run over it. But his turn, he goes into E-Call, and then summons Alias, which I was hoping he would, but it turned out better for me because he attacked with Stratos first, which allowed Watchdog to flip face up. So then when Alias went to attack it, it switched to attack mode and was therefore unable to be destroyed in battle. So at this point, I decided to save compulsion and just take the damage. So switch to attack mode. It saved itself. My turn. At this point, I was just hoping for like a level 4 machine, but I drew another Machina Fortress, so I just set Torrential and just ended his turn. He's thinking about his next move. I'm guessing he's reading over my card effect. The way I see it, no matter which one he attacks with, it'll switch to attack mode. I'll take damage, but then its effect will activate, which will increase its attack and defense, and therefore it will guard against the next one. But I lagged out, I lost connection, so we decided to start again, which was really sucky because I hate lagging out. Anyway, he starts off again, he goes into E-Call. Searches his deck for, well, we'll see. Anyway, this time I started with a pretty decent hand. I'm glad it's much better than the one I had before. At least I had a battle recruiter that would let me toolbox. I would actually be able to get something going. So yeah. So he's still searching his deck. This is not lag. We were actually talking, discussing a few things. And of course he searches out Stratos, and then he goes into Stratos, plays its effect. Now my hybrid is an all machine deck, so I do not run Veilers, I do not run Maxi, I do not run DD Crow, not even in my side deck. I run none of those cards. So I just let the effect go through, and then he goes for the all or nothing Bubble Man play. He overlays into Utopia, which is a pretty solid first turn move with 5 back row. I was actually almost certain that one of those cards would be either Solemn Judgment, Starlight Road, or Dark Bride. So I played it safe. I set MST. I went all in as well, since I knew Heavy Storm was not coming after this. So basically he caught it. It was a back row war basically. It was my 4 versus his 5. Now I was hoping one of those would actually be an MST, and I purposely put my MST in the middle because a lot of duelists that I go against, actually, when they use MST, they target my middle back row, And I'm like, okay, maybe I can get something out of that. So he plays MST, and what do you know? He targets my MST, and I go for his middle back row, and luck behold, I hit his Dark Bribe. So, and thanks to that, I was able to get off my Mirror Force and take his Utopia down very easily. So I was very happy for that. He still had 3 back row compared to my 2, but then again, basically we both only used 2 back row. So my turn, he ends with nothing else. I draw quick, and I flip summon Peacekeeper to see if he had anything. I was hoping that he would like activate Torrential, so I just attack with Peacekeeper and just end my turn. I didn't want to summon anything because I wanted my Torrential to go off, and I wanted that search without minusing myself. So I was actually hoping he actually would go into a big monster. And as you can see, I have my mouse on Torrential Tribute, and I was thankful that he picked Absolute Zero instead of the Shining, because he gets nothing from it, and I get my Machina Gear Frame. So I was very happy about that one. And I noticed he was checking his graveyard, so I was guessing that card in his hand was Monster Reborn. So anyway, my turn, I go into Machina Gear Frame, hoping to finally get my toolbox engine going, and finally like put some damage in. So I search out Peacekeeper, hopefully go for another Gear Frame. And battle phase, I go direct with Gear Frame and waiting for a back row. Oh, sorry. He has nothing, so I set Magic Cylinder, and what do you know? He actually had another Miracle Fusion. He had 2 of them in his hand, and I was just shocked with that one. So I was very glad I had Magic Cylinder, and he actually knows my deck quite well, so he wasn't surprised it was Magic Cylinder. So I summon Katakuri Soldier and see if he had anything for it. So then I overlaid into Gear Gigant X to see if he had an answer for it. He played Compulsory to stop it from using the effect, so I just set my Compulsory paired with my Book of Moon and just ended my turn. So his move, again, he's got a 35, I believe, attack point Shining, but it doesn't matter because I compulsed it anyway, and it is ridiculous how Compulsory Evacuation Device is good this format. I mean, I can't believe how good it is. I main 3 in my deck, and it is so anti-meta, it's not even funny. You get over so much stuff with this card. And so, back to the duel. So I summon another soldier, and I try to attack directly with it, but he plays Deep Prison. I could not afford to lose another battle recruiter, so I booked my own soldier to prevent Deep Prison from banishing it. So I use the effect, and I basically summon another soldier. Toolboxing, But after that, I changed my mind. I wanted Watchdog instead because I really wanted to go for Burrito. I really did. So I draw Limited Removal, and I'm like, wow, that's awesome. So I summon Quick, and I was like thinking paranoid that his face down card was Gemini Spark, but thankfully it wasn't. So I go into Burrito, I play the effect, and I search I believe I search Soldier, correct? Yeah, I go for Soldier, and it was actually worse. It was actually Torrential Tribute that he hit me with, and that was the sucky part. Only good news was that I still had 8,000 LP, so I didn't have much to fear. He didn't have enough cards in his hand to actually pull off an OTK, but he did play Monster Reborn and take my Burrito. Now, what shocked me most about this duel is this top deck. I actually top deck Cyber Dragon in this situation. So I play it. He says, "Alright, Contact Fusion out the blue." I play it, and coming out of the extra deck screen, I see a Torrential Tribute waiting for me. So then I set Machina Peacekeeper and just call it a turn. So Peacekeeper goes off and Gear Frame to the hand. Now, the way I see it, I have game with Limiter, and I just drew Kamachi. So Gear Frame searches Peacekeeper. Not Peacekeeper, Fortress. And Fortress special summons itself by discarding itself and Katakuri Kamachi. And with Limiter removal, it's game over. I attacked with Fortress first because I was actually thinking of Honest. If he would have had it anyway, Fortress would have activated its effect and I would have destroyed it anyway, and I would have still had game. So it was a fun duel. It was a great duel. I really like this deck, and I really want to give him a shout out to Trusolus and congratulate him and hope him the best on his new deck, and I hope it works out well for him. Alright, see ya.